All right, what is up, everybody? Max here, and today, so it seems like every week now, Facebook is doing something to make our jobs a little harder, right? To make the platform seem a little less stable, a little less in advertisers' favor, and it's a slippery slope. What I'm going to talk about today is something that, hey, everyone might not agree with me, right? I might say some things that you disagree with, but at the end of the day, I think unless you've been on both sides of the equation, unless you've been on the ad buying side as a business owner that's working your ass off to grow a business, and as a user of these platforms since day one, it's really hard to like sit and poke and find flaws and find holes. And here's I think, and again, this might be controversial, or come on. I'm going to say with a Yorkie in my lap so you guys can't get mad at me. But I'm so fed up with the PC political correctness culture where everybody's offended nowadays. Like, come on. It's gotten to the point where you cannot do or say anything without offending some group, some person, some bit. Like, you just can't say anything anymore. You can't do anything anymore because apparently every time we do and say things, we have alternative meanings. We mean something else. And listen, here's the thing. Most people running Facebook ads are just trying to grow a business, right? So I'm going to go through in a minute what this breaking news is, and it won't impact everybody here. But I think it is a slippery slope if Facebook's willing to cave on this of what they will cave on next. Because honestly, we are getting to a point now where Facebook has never, in the 6 to 8 years that I've been on the platform as a business owner, they have never been this aggressive at shutting down advertiser features, at hurting their business as they are now. And it's amazing because I don't know what Facebook thinks. Like, here's the thing. Facebook is a public company, okay? Now, despite whatever you might think morally, Facebook as a public company has a fiduciary duty to their shareholders, which means that they need to make decisions that are in the best interest of their shareholders. And that means they make decisions that are in the best interest of them making money. If they don't do that, and if shareholders think that Facebook is making decisions that are intentionally hurting that business, there's going to be a lot of issues, right? Mark Zuckerberg might be in trouble. He's probably the only CEO actually that probably could get away with this because of his supermajority he has. So he's very uniquely positioned as a CEO of a public company in his voting rights, in his ownership structure, to maybe be able to avoid getting pushed out. But listen, I get wanting to be a good person, and I get that you shouldn't put people over profits, and that's all important, right? And I like to think that the way we do business, the way I've done business my entire life, is ethically, morally, and I'm first person going against gurus and people that are deceiving others and making false claims and lying. I'm the first person to do that. And I think it's terrible what a lot of people are doing on social media, leveraging these platforms to spread false information, to dox people. There's a lot of terrible things being done, but that's being done by terrible people. Like, terrible people have done terrible things forever. It's not a new thing. I think so many people are so focused on the fact that there's more knowledge of it happening now, and they correlate that to it happening more. No, the reality is that 100 years ago, 200 years ago, when somebody in London or San Francisco or Hawaii did something mean, or they discriminated against one group of people in a housing application or whatever, like, it happened. We just didn't hear about it because there wasn't instant information. I didn't have this, and so I couldn't look and get like notification that landlord in Hawaii discriminates against somebody. I didn't get that notified to me 200 years ago, 100 years ago, 50 years ago, 20 years ago, right? So there's this correlation, I think, that a lot of people are having to the fact that we hear about more of these things happening, that they're actually happening more often. Okay. And now I'm not an expert in this, so I don't have the data. But what I will say is that we are a lot of people are focusing the blame, government and society and alike, not just everyday people. The government's doing it too, on Facebook, on Google, on Amazon, on Twitter, on YouTube, on all these platforms, because they're the easy target, right? It's a lot easier to go after Facebook than it is to go after right-wing Nazis, right? It's a lot easier to go after YouTube instead of going after crazy left-wingers, right? And so, I don't know. What I'm saying too could be totally off base, right? And I'm more than open to having a dialogue and a discussion about this. And I'd like to have a dialogue and discussion about this from multiple sides. I don't want me to just be just ranting, right? And I'd love to hear what other people think. So like, as I'm saying these things, I'd love for people to let me know what you think, if you agree, if you disagree, what your viewpoints are on this. But to be like totally blunt and transparent, like I just think it is a slippery slope to remove tools and features that for 99% of people using them are being used for good, and to remove them because of a small percent of people that are abusing the platform, right? There are people that abuse all of our programs, right? There are people that abuse our welfare system. There are people that abuse loopholes with the IRS. There are people that abuse every type of rule and platform and product and service out there because they're bad people. That doesn't mean you should just get rid of all these things, right? It's like saying, oh, there's some of these people they're abusing the welfare system by doing X, Y, and Z. So what's easier, instead of going after those people, let's just get rid of the welfare system, right? Or whatever it might be. It's like, hey, this crazy person got an ad into this newspaper. Let's just get rid of the newspaper. Let's get rid of the ability to run ads on newspapers, right? No, you can't do that. That is like performing microsurgery with a hammer, right? That's not the way it works. You don't perform surgery with a massive blunt instrument and just hit somebody, right? No, it's a delicate procedure. And so we're seeing, and for anybody that's not familiar, let me take a step back. I kind of went right into a rant there. Let me take a step back. So here's the news. So Facebook on Tuesday agreed to overhaul its lucrative targeted advertising system to settle accusations that landlords, lenders, and employers use the platform to discriminate. The far-reaching settlement compels Facebook to withhold a wide array of detailed demographic information, including zip codes, gender, and age for advertisers when they market housing, credit, and job opportunities. Okay, so let's pause there. So I love this. This is the Washington Post that's writing this. It's saying they're compelling Facebook to withhold a wide array of detailed demographic information. Since when is gender or age detailed demographic information, right? No, what's detailed is back when Facebook told you how many credit cards somebody had, what their household income was. Back when we had good targeting options, that was detailed. Being able to target by zip code, are you shitting me? Like, it is absurd. It's so because a small amount of businesses and advertisers on Facebook, they broke the law and they did things that were not just against the law, but against the platform's policies. Instead of just banning them, no, let's get rid of gender and age targeting for anybody advertising housing, credit, or job opportunities. Like, think that through. So if I'm advertising now and I need a specific type of person for my business, right? I don't know. I'm trying to think of examples that aren't going to offend people, right? But there are lots of jobs out there that certain ages and certain genders are better suited for, right? Or they just have more expertise in something. I'm not going to say better suited for, but right, like if you're running if you have a women's cosmetic brand, right? If I'm running that brand, well, first of all, I probably shouldn't be running it because I'm a guy. I have no knowledge of cosmetics. I don't use cosmetics. Most men use cosmetics. So if I'm running that, I probably want to offer jobs, if it's for a specific program in my business, to these women in this age or men in this age. It's not a discrimination thing. It's just if I have historical data that says 100% of people that have done this job are women or men in this age bracket. I want to target by that. Like, that's not me discriminating. That's me being a smart business owner and recognizing that I'm not going to waste ad spend on men for a job that men will never take, and vice versa. Why would I waste money offering a job to, like, if I'm advertising and for whatever reason it's a job that only men or women can do, why should I now be forced to have to advertise that to that gender, which is essentially what's happening with Facebook right now? Because this is not detailed targeting out. Like, this Washington Post article is such liberal BS. And again, I want to make this very clear. I am not political, right? I don't identify as Republican or Democrat. I don't support right wing or left wing. I don't really support any of that. I'm about as middle of the road libertarian as I can get. I'm fiscally conservative and I'm socially liberal. That's pretty much every entrepreneur follows that path. So I want to say that first. Like, this is not a left versus right thing or a right versus left thing, or, hey, Max is a crazy conservative or a crazy liberal. No, I'm approaching this purely as a entrepreneur who busts his ass so I can build a company. I've done that for the last 10 years. I have given everything to my career, everything. My first startup, I put my life savings into it. I put every dollar I had made into that company to grow it so we can employ other people, so I can make payroll for other people. I have given up and sacrificed more than most people can know because I believe in entrepreneurship. I believe in capitalism. I believe in building something and employing others and bringing an innovative product to the market or service to the market that's going to help people. That's what I believe in. And so when I see things like this, where people who have no idea, who have never run a business in their life, they don't know what it's like to start a business, they've never spent $1 on advertising, they have no idea how it works, right? It's like Congress talking about Facebook. They don't know how Facebook makes money. They're idiots, right? So when I see articles like this, where it's so ignorant, right? Like, the way they're writing about advertising is just ignorant because they don't know. They have no idea. And it's easy to say, hey, just remove these options. It won't impact people. No, getting rid of zip code targeting, gender targeting, age targeting, that will have a big impact. And you know what's going to impact? Small business owners, mid-sized business, middle market companies. It's not going to impact Coke or Nike or Disney or Fox or any of those companies. It's not going to impact them at all because they have enough money that they can go super broad, right? They can run super high brand awareness advertisings. The businesses that it impacts are the masses, the tens of millions of small business owners. That's what this is going to impact. The more Facebook does this, the more Facebook restricts targeting options. And I'm not talking about, listen, I get it. Back when Facebook made the decision to get rid of third-party data from Datalogic and Nielsen and all that company, I get it, right? Okay, and I still was upset about that, but I understand it. You want to get rid of my ability to target by the fact that somebody has 10 credit cards, or the fact that they just got a mortgage and they make this much money and they live in this, they have this net worth and this size home. Like, okay, I'll give that to you, right? Even though I'll push back and I'm upset about it, but I'll give that to you. But you want to take away the ability for me to target by zip code or by gender or by age? Are you shitting me? I might as well just send direct mail out, right? I might just start robocalling. Here, like, this is, again, this goes back to our government and most people not thinking beyond their own selfish needs. Like, right now, being PC is great because being PC, when you call somebody out, right, when you're a social justice warrior, you get that 10 seconds of fame. You get that BuzzFeed article and you get featured on YouTube and you get all this stuff, right? So it's hot to be a social justice warrior right now. But they don't think beyond that, right? So let's think beyond this, right? Okay, let's play this out. Let's do a simulation, okay? Game theory. Let's play it out. So I start with housing, credit, and job, and then I push it a little further, and eventually maybe Facebook gets rid of all gender targeting and all age targeting and all zip code targeting. What happens? Okay, so here's what will initially happen. You, as a user of Facebook, will start to see totally irrelevant ads. Men will start seeing tampon ads. Women will start seeing, hairy Dollar Shave Club ads. People living in Orlando we'll start seeing ads from the San Francisco Tourism Board for a new art opening. Like I can go down the list. 18-year-olds will start seeing ads for Depends. 65-year-olds will start seeing ads for the latest new video game. Do you see where I'm going with this? Right? Do you see where I'm going with this? And this is, again, what's going to happen once that happens. Why is Facebook showing these relevant ads? This is bullshit. Facebook, I'm a 18-year-old. I'm a badass independent millennial that got a terrible degree and I don't have a job. But now I'm seeing Depend ads. This is BS. Boycott Facebook. Well, no, the reason you're going to start seeing Depend ads as an 18-year-old, 20-year-old social justice warrior is because you forced Facebook to get rid of age targeting, you idiot, right? So again, like I know I'm going on a rant here, and I know there's people watching, and there's a lot of silence. So I would love to hear what you guys think about this. Terrence had great points. I appreciate that. You guys don't have to agree with me. Listen, I know what I'm saying. People are going to disagree with, and that's fine. The great thing about Facebook and these platforms is it enables free speech and discussion. We can have a discussion over things. But when you start forcing things on me as an advertiser, as a user of the platform, that's where I start to draw the line. Because, like, again, going back to the repercussions of this, it's easy to think short-sighted. Okay, in the very short run, sure, getting rid of these targeting options will eliminate some of these people from discriminating. You know what I can promise you, though? That people that are doing that are just bad people who break the law, it's just like when you make drugs legal, right? So what happened during Prohibition? I'm not that old. I'm 29, but I've studied a lot of history. I love history. What's amazing to me is how few people, whether they're 18 or 85, forget history. It's like in Men in Black, the neuralizer. Every time something bad happens, we get neuralized, right? 2008 subprime mortgage crisis. We're all like, oh my God, we shouldn't have borrowed all that money. Why did I take out a mortgage and get a second house when I make $30,000 a year? Ooh, I shouldn't have done that. 6 years later, same people doing the same thing, maxing credit cards out, buying a home they can't afford. We're a society of people with amnesia. We forget all the time. We forget, right? And so look and study history. What happens when you try to stop bad behavior from bad people by making things illegal or removing things? What happens? Do they just say, ooh, you got me. I'm giving up. I'm done. You busted me. I don't want to do that bad thing that I was doing anymore. It's just not worth it anymore. So I'm going to be good now. No, that's not what they do. What happened with Prohibition, right? So you make alcohol illegal. Do people stop drinking alcohol? Do people stop selling alcohol? Do people stop making alcohol? No. They just find ways to skirt the law. So what do you think is going to happen with this? If I'm a landlord who likes to discriminate, do you think the fact that Facebook removes the ability to target by zip codes or gendered ages is going to prevent me from running discriminatory ads? No. I guarantee you they will find a way. They will buy lists from people. There's markets out there where you can buy email lists. You can buy all those data, right? Like, I think a lot of politicians and ACLU and all these organizations think that Facebook has a monopoly on data. They don't. Facebook, just like Google and Snapchat and all these platforms, they buy data from Visa, from Nielsen, from Datalogics, from all these companies. They have Experian, right? So like Experian, for example, knows way more about you financially than Facebook probably does. Experian has all your info, your credit scores, how much money you have in your credit cards right now. Do you have max out credit cards? How good are you paying back loans? They know everything about you. And guess what? I can go and buy data from Experian if I want to. I can go and buy data from Datalogics or Nielsen. They're data companies. So if I'm a big landlord and Facebook just removed my ability to some targeting options, they're just going to go buy data from somewhere else. Problem solved. For them, you solved nothing. All that you did was hurt all the other advertisers on Facebook that can't afford to do that, who are advertising ethically and morally, trying to promote a good product. And so that's like, for me, it's so short-sighted. You're not thinking, you're playing checkers and not chess, right? Great chess players, they think 5 moves ahead, 10 moves ahead. Bad chess players, they're thinking move to move. So what this article is about, what this says to me, is the people filing these lawsuits, the people making these big positions and statements, they're playing a short game. And they're going to lose because they're not playing the long game, right? Like this, again, this is not going to stop the people that they want to stop. It's just not. They'll move to another platform. They'll buy data from somebody else. There's 100 ways, like, or what they'll start doing what I talk about, reverse targeting. They'll go super broad. They'll run content, quizzes, calculators, gamification on the front end that gets people to self-identify. Problem solved for them, right? There are so many easy workarounds if you know what you're doing. But again, who is this really going to penalize? It's really going to penalize the majority of Facebook advertisers who aren't super savvy, who don't really know these advanced strategies, who don't have the resource to buy data in bulk from these big data companies. That's who it's going to penalize. And so these decisions, and Facebook should know better, right? I get it from the ACLU and these different organizations that are filing these lawsuits. I get it. They need to make a statement. And listen, what I'll also say is this is a specific case. I'm not saying that, I'm not condoning the suit. I'm not saying that what they're doing and why they're suing is wrong, right? I 110% am on their side when it comes to shutting down people that are breaking the law and that are discriminating, right? I think all genders, all ages, all religions, all races should have equal opportunities, right? And anybody that tries to stop that should be penalized to the fullest extent of the law. So let me just say that as well. I'm not saying that like this is a stupid lawsuit.